Welcome, race fans, to Pitside live from Adams County Speedway here in Corning, Iowa. We're back-to-back here, so Mother Nature has left us a good one this week. I tell you what, it's kind of nice to sit around this week and watch some races on the phone and know that we have no chance of weather this week. It's kind of nice to not have to sit there and fret about the weather, and the only thing that's different is our track prep crew has to work a little harder this week about putting some water on the track. But tell you what, folks, we are live here at Adams County Speedway, and we're also live on our YouTube channel. Just pull up the KCSI YouTube, and you can watch us on our podcast as well. I'm Cliff Baldwin. This is Evan Baldwin. We are missing our other cohort. Cole is off down in Kansas watching the big guys this week. So we got a lot of guests lined up for you. We got a special announcement tonight with our kids club. We're going to reveal our kids coloring contest winner tonight, so that's going to be awesome. Got some special guests with that, and the car that we're doing. Anthony Fletchall will be here with us, along with well, you can tell me who they are. I don't remember who all you got lined up. So.
Yeah, we got some different guests on the show here tonight. Fletchall is going to come on and talk a little bit about his car and kind of a little bit about the kids club and things like that. So that'll be neat. We're going to do that right before the national anthem here tonight. We also got Josh Cooper coming on the show here about 5:45. He's going to talk to us about his win last week in the modifieds, and then we've also got, I believe, hopefully Brett Shepard will get up here. I messaged his brother Dusty, so hopefully Brett will be able to get up here and talk to us around 6 o'clock. So a few drivers that we're going to get on the show here tonight. Also, we have a NASCAR rep here from Florida. Hopefully she can get over here and talk as well. So her first time here to the show, or here to the Speedway, so that'll be cool to have her here for the first time, and hopefully we can talk to her a little bit too. So welcome to Pitside Live. Like I said, my name's Evan Baldwin, and thanks you for joining us here tonight. Beautiful week all week long. It was kind of summer-esque, where we didn't really get any rain at all throughout the week, and Logan put about almost 40,000 gallons of water on this thing last night. So it's getting to be summer-esque. Like I said, it's we prepped it kind of like it is in the summertime, where we're putting water on it, a lot of water on it. So last week we didn't really know if we were going to race there for a while, and the track ended up being really, really good, and it was heavy, it was racy, but at the same time it
turned out great.
It was a really good track, and it was definitely harder on equipment because of how heavy it was, but at the same time, it wasn't super rough. I know that's one thing we worry about with heavy racetracks, is how rough it does get. So we were very happy with how the racetrack held its character, but it didn't get overboard with things. So we were happy with that, and we were happy with the cars that showed up as well. And we had a 3-wide finish in the hobby stocks. That was probably the race of the night. Josh Cooper kind of walked the dog there in the modifieds. That's the best he's looked in almost 2 years, so he looked really good. Compact race was pretty dang good too. Shepard and Hoover were putting on a show there, and 350 to win compacts was a good chunk of change for their compacts, and Brett Shepard ended up getting that win, so we were happy with that. We were happy for him. We had a couple fireballs in the compacts as well. Unfortunately, Dusty Shepard lost the motor, and Jeremy Frazier lost the transmission. And it was weird because they both were just it was just a huge fireball that came out of the back of their cars. And Dusty sent me a picture of his motor afterwards, and the whole bottom side, the whole bottom side of the motor, you could see through it. So.
Unfortunately.
Definitely blew something, but he should be here tonight. I do believe he had another motor, he told me. So, but yeah, hopefully we can get Brett on the show here in just a little bit, talk a little bit about compact racing. So I've been very pleased with our compact racing here the first couple weeks. I know towards the end of the year last year we were having some problems with rough driving and a lot of bickering throughout the drivers. And so far this year it's been really, really good. And for the most part, the guys have been respecting each other and putting on a good show, and it's been clean racing and stuff. So
The other exciting part of last week was we got to kick off our Crown Victoria, our pulling construction Crown Vic class, and it was very good. We had 6 cars, and they all put on a good race. Heat race was too exciting there because we had to have a rollover, but no, it was kind of interesting. They reported he was okay immediately, and then I took his parents over, and I told him he was fine, and we got the ambulance. They were kind of chuckling with him because I opened the ambulance door, and they were taking pictures of him because it was kind of, had the relief, of course, but it was funny that, that it's just a lesson learned, of course, when you go off. You really can't save it. You just got to take your licks and go off. But no, he was doing great. He was leading pretty much of the time, but no, it was great to get that class kicked off. Tate Hafner was the inaugural winner of the first Crown Victoria feature winner. That was great to have, and something you can't take away from somebody to be the first in anything. So that was a neat deal to get that started off. We look forward to that class building, and we know it will. I talked to people in the crowd that talked about, man, I need to get one of them, and it's without a doubt the most affordable thing you can possibly do to get started in racing. So, and we're going to make that class to be all about having fun too. So,
well, the Crown Vics, they went a lot faster than I thought they would. During practice there about a month ago, we had 4 of them there for practice, and quite a few of them, were just testing the waters and going kind of, just not very fast, and they were trying to figure out what the car could handle, and I was impressed by the speed that the cars actually carried last weekend. Keegan Smith was the one that was leading and rolling the backstretch. Right. Former student in Lennox, I know him, so he was really, really fast, actually, and unfortunately, he went off a 2 and did the one thing that you're not supposed to do when you go off the racetrack, is immediately try to save it.
Yeah,
and he tried to do that, and just got upside down. It was a wild ride too over there. We had a couple rollovers over there in that same spot. In the hobby stock feature, unfortunately, Jared Lund and Chad Wolf from Nebraska on the very first lap. So
simultaneous rollovers.
I do believe Jared's done for a while. Unfortunately, Jared Lund won't be racing for a while. I know he posted on Facebook last week that taking some time off and assessing the situation and going to figure out what he wants to do, but his car was not in good shape. Let's just say that it was pretty tore up and pretty bent, and everybody knows that when those things happen, you got to start forking out your checkbook, and sometimes that's hard to do. So I don't know if Jared will be down here watching, but I know that he's taking some time off, so we'll be missing one tonight for sure. I do appreciate Chad Wolf from Nebraska coming over here for the last first 2 races. That's a 4-hour drive for those guys. Guide Rock, Nebraska is just south of Grand Island, and we appreciate those guys coming over here a lot. He's the owner of Prowler Chassis, which is the chassis that Cody Warner runs, and he really, really likes this place. He just said, unfortunately, he can't be here weekly because it's a 4-hour drive, and he's got his local racetracks he needs to race too. So, long drive home for him last week. Unfortunately, he won the first night here, and then got upside down last week. So, he also brought over another car from that area as well. So we appreciate that. So, hopefully those guys will make their way back over here sometime. Hopefully for tradition, things like that. So. Or if they rain out over there or something, hopefully he can make his way back over here, because he's a really clean driver, does a really good job of racing with our guys, and very competitive driver. When you knock off our hobby stock guys, you're pretty good, because our hobby stock class down here is really competitive and really top notch racing. So it was an unfortunate situation we had in the hobby stocks last week. Couple cars getting tore up there, but they made up for it there at the end of the race, because it was one heck of a finish. Going into 3 and 4, Anthony Davis led pretty much the whole race, and there on that last lap, Bennett Johnson went into 3 and got him loose a little bit going into 3, and Bennett took the high side, and then Hensel took the low side where he likes to be, and it was a drag race off of 4, and Hensel ended up beating him by a half a nose. So it was a really, really good finish, and the video that was posted on Facebook got a lot of views. So hopefully we can get on TV here sooner than later, and we'll be able to watch that
Speaking of which,
over and over again.
Dirt Crown TV. We haven't really talked a lot about it, but Dirt Crown TV
Bob said he didn't do it.
Talked to Joe last week and this week, and we are scheduled to get it started this next week. So May 17th, we're going to
cross our fingers.
Yeah, we're going to make sure. We haven't made an official announcement until we know, and I think we kind of know now. So. That's the plan. Is next Saturday.
We just got to get our feet in the water.
Yep, get it started
and just swim.
I got guys ready to work here. We're going to get people to work here, so we're all chomped at the bit to get it started. So
I got several people that ask me every week. You guys streaming tonight? You guys streaming tonight?
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people that obviously live a ways away or they're off doing other things, and that's what's great about streaming is. People that can't make it, you can still watch it, and it's good for the drivers too because they can go back and watch their races on that replay stuff. And I know Lois Derry still does videos here upstairs, and a lot of people, a lot of drivers watch her videos just to go see their races. And
absolutely,
that's how drivers learn is going back and watching what they did wrong, what they did right. It's a totally different perspective watching it from the grandstands opposed to the cockpit of the race car. So hopefully we'll get Dirt Crown TV down here next week, and hopefully once we get them down here and get everything set up, that'll be a weekly occurrence.
Yep,
and it'll be every week.
Correct.
So
May 17th, that's the plan. Next Saturday. Obviously, we're going to get this thing going. Bear with us. I'm sure we'll have kinks. We got to get the equipment here, test it with our new Starlink system, which other tracks have it, and we've talked to them and said they never had any trouble. So, internet's always been an issue here until we get doggone fiber optic here, and we're still waiting, like a lot of towns are, to get it here. I know FMTC. I've listened to their cast. They're in Clarinda and Bedford now, working on that. So hopefully we'll be next in line. I hope so, because we know things will be perfect when that happens. So because we've had it not away for several years now. We were one of the first to get it, and it's the real deal. Fiber optics works awesome. So
well, it's an action-packed weekend here for racing. Month of May is a really good time to be a race fan. Full weekend for us. We were at Stewart last night for the SLMR show. SLMR put on a great show last night up there, and that was the second race of the season for the West Series. So it was a good race up there and down here tonight, and then tomorrow we're heading down to Kansas Speedway. So if any of you have a chance to, if you're a race fan and you've never been down to Kansas Speedway with this Gen 7 car, let me tell you, Kansas Speedway is probably top 3 best racetracks on the whole circuit. So we're very blessed to have a racetrack like that local to us, close to us, to where we can go down and watch. And for a long time there, Kansas Speedway was kind of viewed as a boring racetrack, that those cookie cutter mile and a halves. But now with this Gen 7 race car, it is one heck of a race. And if anybody has a chance to go down there, I would strongly advise you do. You will not be disappointed. The facility down there is beautiful. NASCAR does a great job of putting on shows, and Kansas is definitely one of the premier facilities in the country, that's for sure. So we got that going on this weekend. That's where Cole's at. The truck race is tonight. NASCAR race, the Advent Health 400, is tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So if you have a chance to go down and support NASCAR and support that facility, go do that as well. We'll be down there in October.
Yep.
We'll be in the NASCAR experience again for the promoting our racetrack again. So that was a neat experience. We're also going to be at Iowa Speedway in August, so that'll be cool.
We'll take that weekend off.
Yep. But yeah, it's a good weekend to be a race fan. So
and this year we'll be in the NASCAR experience at Iowa Speedway. So that's the cool part of it. So we won't be hidden. So
yeah,
a lot of people couldn't find us last year, but it was still a great deal. Inaugural race. You talk about Kansas Speedway, but I think that's a pretty dang cool track too up there. So I hope they always be able to keep it, because I think that's a good show and especially have it right here in Iowa, where this is the heart and soul of racing in America. So Iowa natives love to come out and go racing, and we prove it by selling out, it seems like, everything that they do up here. So just glad that we have that race now. Kansas has always been great, that's for sure, but having the one right here at Iowa Speedway is even better. So but no, we look forward to it. We're really grateful to have NASCAR allow us to go down there and do those things with us. So that's an awesome deal. Other than that, we got night of racing tonight. Like we said, we're going to have Anthony on
No
here.
title sponsor tonight, right?
Nope, no title. Well, technically, we'll call it Stalker Chevrolet's kids club. Stalker
Yep.
is the sponsor of the kids club, and that's
So
gonna
I'll
be the big
explain that
part
here
of it.
really quick before we go to our first break.
Yep.
So last year we started up the kids coloring contest again. We did that, several years ago. It was probably going on 20 years ago now, and Todd Ramsey was the original driver that did it. It was a stock car back in the day, and kids would color the car obviously on a piece of paper, and then they would submit their entries, and the committee that's assigned to picking the car, which is obviously the guy that wraps the car, the driver, and a couple others on the promotion committee, they will select a winner. And this year, Anthony Fletchall was selected to be the driver, and he was super excited about it. And we selected a winner earlier this week.
Out of over 80 entries.
Yeah, there was over 80 entries, and that's the most we've ever had. So it was awesome, the support that we got from the kids. And
The Fletchalls themselves did a great job because they went to some schools down in Missouri and pushed it. And there was a lot of good ones.
there was. It was a tough decision,
it was.
and the one that we chose, we feel like it fits well because we wanted it to remain that kiddish feel, where it looks like a kid made it. It's got that youth flair to it. We don't want it to be, something where it looks like a professional did it. I mean, yeah, we want it to look nice, but at the same time, we want it to look somewhat of that kiddish vibe because, again, it's for the kids. We want it to be something that the kids can look at and be like, hey, maybe I can try to win that next year or whatever. So I know we do have a driver, I think, already selected for next year. I do believe Evan Davis is going to do it next year. So last year it was Tim Cooney that did it for our inaugural event. I know Chris Bates' daughter won it in Bristol. She submitted a really, really good one again this year, too.
Yep.
She was one of the finalists again this year, too. So, but I know Tim will bring his car back down here hopefully sooner than later, and his car still has the same wrap on it from last year, and you can see that. So now we're going to have two cars that are going to be on the racetrack here with designed by kids. So Fletchall is going to reveal it. We're going to reveal it right before the national anthem here tonight, right after hot laps. We're going to reveal it, and then we're going to give Anthony his hot lap session. So
the hint I give you right now is that when you see it, it might remind you of a couple of cars that had a similar deal.
It might make you hungry, too.
Yeah, exactly. It might make you hungry, but it reminds me of a couple of cars that was here several years ago. And one of them is one of those guys is still driving, but not the same scheme, but back to the old scheme. So that's all the hint I'll give you. Hopefully you can figure that out when you see the car and when we unveil the car.
We feel like it was perfect because
It was neat.
It really fits the whole vibe of a kid, and it also fits. I feel like it fits a race car really well, about kind of an idea of something that a kid would like.
There was a lot. I mean, I tried to get it down to about 20 at first, and that was even hard to do. And then there were a lot of colorful.
Yeah, we narrowed it down to about 5 So Dre made the different wraps online, and we saw them through the software, and then we made the decision from there, and talked to the driver, and then we finally made our decision. So it turned out really good. So
but there's so many. To me, there's a lot of colorful ones. Some of the stuff, like I know there was a skull and crossbones on one, and I thought the kid did a pretty good job doing that. I mean, there was some really.
It would have been really cool if a kid did like a Bloomquist theme.
That's the first thing I thought of when I thought of that. But it was like I said, this is just a great program. I know the person that won it originally is standing beside me.
I won one year.
Yeah, a long time ago. So
long time ago.
That's when I got back and we got Stalker involved. It's like, man, this is a no-brainer. We need to do this every year.
The one that I did back in the day was kind of it was a throw. It was like a Jeff Gordon style. It was purple with the flames.
Yep.
So. Yep. But we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break here, and we're going to get the driver of this kids coloring contest car on. We're going to talk to him a little bit here. It's going to be Anthony Fletchall out of Grant City, Missouri. So we're going to be right back with you here in just a few minutes here on Pitside Live.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels, giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between. Malvern Bank is your...
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here in Corning, Iowa. Once again, this is Cliff Baldwin. I'm here with Evan Baldwin. And Evan, you can take it away with our next guest.
Yeah, we talked about it right there before the break. A guy that I believe we've had on the show before a couple times. Our only driver that's from Missouri anymore, and that's sad to say because we used to have a lot of guys from Missouri.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of guys that race from northern Missouri anymore. A lot of them race that USRA stuff, but... Anthony Fletchall, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Yeah, it was a really cool deal. We were kind of thinking of drivers to do this, and right away when we were thinking about it, I said, well, why don't we do Fletchall, because he does the back to school thing, and he seems to really be into the kids stuff. So we asked you, and it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. Like I said, I got the call at the beginning of the year, wanted to know if I'd be interested in doing the I guess, second year in the revive of this. And, everything just worked out timing-wise great. The car needed a new wrap anyway, and like you said, to do something with the kids and get them excited, and everything just kind of tied in together, and it just made sense to jump on it and do it. So
Only thing this year, the Mother Nature kept kicking us to push us back. So,
Yep.
And but that's the great thing about it. I think it was going to work out perfect. Like we talked about earlier, we had over 80 entries. I know you guys worked real hard getting the schools from down there in Missouri, but it was tough. It was a tough decision. I mean, I originally had them and broke them down to about 20, 25 that I thought, and I kind of put them in, just kind of put those there, and then Evan went through them, and Dre went through them, and we had others look at it, and I was like, you guys see what you, and then Dre's a designer, so he can work things up, and he showed you, I think he called you and stuff, but man, there were some tough ones. And there are a lot of good ones, but it makes it tough, and that's really good. So, I mean, a lot of creative kids, and it's fun, and I wish there was just a way we could do somehow different, but more, award them, but we thank very much what they did. So it was the kids are very inventive. So,
and it's something, I think this wrap, too, is something that it's cool to drive, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really creative, I think.
It is. It looks pretty awesome, and I can't wait to see what it looks like under the lights.
Yeah.
It's got some color to it, and it looks good in the daytime, but I'm excited to see what it looks like in the night. And
like I said before the break too, is it fits the kid vibe perfectly, because it's a theme that everybody knows, and everybody kind of knows what it is, and it's what it's supposed to create and things, what it's supposed to represent and things like that. So. And it's definitely something that's going to stand out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to know where you're at on the racetrack now, because it stands out.
It does. I'm excited with the way it turned out. I think it looks awesome, and yeah, like you guys said, it's got that kid feel to it, and just being able to have them involved in doing something creative like this, and hopefully getting them excited, and growing them into fans or pit crew members or drivers or whatever. That's the main goal.
Yep. Get them more involved, and we brought the kids club back after we kind of got rid of it during COVID, and we finally got it back and finally got a sponsor for it again. Thanks to Soccer Chevrolet for doing that. So
we're going to get better with it too. We'll start hopefully get some truck rides going.
This kids coloring contest deal is just a really cool idea. We're very fortunate that we've got Dre on our fair board, because he's really talented in what he does, and he wraps a lot of race cars, and he puts really good work out there, and we're very fortunate to have a wrap guy on our fair board to where we don't have to worry about paying for it, and it's something where it's just a really neat deal, and a lot of tracks don't do this kind of stuff.
I don't know of any that do this. So I know we have the military wraps, which is awesome. That's a super
I know Salute to Veterans. That's a really cool deal they do.
That is a really cool
CBisma Graphics does that up in Northwest Iowa, or it's actually Southwest Minnesota, but they do a really good job with that. But this is something that you're going to want to keep forever, and it's something that even when the car, hopefully doesn't get tore up, but when the wrap gets worn out, it's something you'll keep forever.
Yeah.
And thanks to Todd Ramsey, a long time ago. He's really the one that came up with it. A driver came up with this contest originally, and that's how the original one started.
Yep.
I loved it back then. We had a lot of great entries. I know Bob and Billy were a big part of that and stuff. But
I feel like it's going to be one of those cars too that the kids are going to want to come down after the races and take pictures with it.
I hope so. I encourage them all to come down. I've left the tailpiece on it completely black. And I've got silver Sharpies, so if anybody wants to stop by and sign the back tail piece of the car,
that's cool.
More than welcome. Come down, hang out, talk with us, sit in the car, take pictures. Even if it's not my car, I encourage kids to come down and go through the pits. Talk to the drivers, see the cars up close and personal. That's what it's all about, and that's
right. Yep.
I was fortunate enough when I was younger that my parents took me, and we got to see several of the cup cars, show cars in different areas. I've seen Gordon's car. I've seen Dale Sr.'s car back in the day. I've seen Dale Jr.'s. And that's, for me, that helped just fuel the love for racing. To be able to see the cars that I sit and watch on TV, to see them up close and to be able to touch them and sit in them, that's everything that dreams are made of.
Drivers. That's what gets the kids hooked too on racing, and hopefully you can hopefully persuade one or two of those kids in the future to become a race car driver, because without the kids, our sport dies.
Right.
So, you got to have that next generation involved. So, it's super cool that we're doing that. So, Anthony, tell us a little bit about you told me before you got on here about what you're doing with that copy car that you just made for the kid. That is a really, really cool deal.
So there's a company out there, VT's 3D Prints, and he prints up little replicas of people's cars. So
like a die cast.
Yep. And so we have a replica, a miniature replica of the car that won the contest that I'll be giving to the kid kind of as a prize for winning. So something they get to take home and they get to keep forever too.
Yeah,
so.
and that's something that's really neat. I mean, we need to think of that in the future as well. I think we need to do that every year now.
Yeah,
but that's a good idea because something for obviously the kid's going to win a bike. That's kind of their prize.
Yep. But
Anthony's come up with this idea of creating a miniature die-cast car of it, and that's really neat. And I know coming from my childhood, die-cast cars were everything for me. I was always playing with them, and I took really good care of them, and I would race them around on my carpet and things like that. And die-cast cars, I still collect them to this day. I collect the really expensive ones now, obviously,
Yep.
but upstairs in my around my iRacing setup, I've got all my die-cast cars and stuff, and kids really love that stuff. So that'll be really neat.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you doing that. So
and you talked about driver accessibility and stuff. I feel that pretty much all of our drivers are definitely accessible. Want fans to come over. So many of them have them sign cars. That's what's neat too. But the diecast thing is definitely a cool thing. I mean, 06 and 07, we had our own diecast here for sale, ACS diecast, and it just kind of went away. I don't really know why we did that, but I think it's a great deal. But there's so many different companies now that do that type of stuff. So I got to meet Thornton's guy. He's out of Des Moines that does it for his little cars. You can buy those cars and he can make wraps for pretty simple, pretty fast.
The little pullback cars.
Yeah,
those are the popular
cars.
ones now
Yep,
because
yep.
American Diecast Company, they still make stuff. ADC, they're out of down in Georgia, I do believe, and theirs is getting to be pretty expensive. Those are really expensive, and a lot of the drivers don't make those anymore because drivers don't really make any money off of them because how expensive they
Right.
are. So now these pullbacks are really cool, and I know that Dre can do them. I'd like to start making copies of our drivers out here and selling them in the souvenir stand. That'd be a really cool
With
idea.
those pullbacks, we could do that. So honestly, we should.
Yeah.
So, that's something we should definitely think about. So, no, the other thing, we talked about. Yeah, we're gonna give a bike. I also am gonna have another thing out there that might ease the hunger. That's all I'm gonna say. It'll ease the hunger. Is that the hunger of racing? I don't know, but hopefully it'll ease the hunger.
It goes with the wrap.
It is a very sweet looking wrap.
It sure is, isn't it?
Sweet.
I just.
There's another clue for you, race fans. Sweet. Sweet is the word. Sweet.
So yeah, I gave a hint earlier. I don't know if you heard it, but I said it kind of reminded you of a couple of cars here years ago. So
hobby stock driver back in the day that used to run something didn't look like this, but his number looked like your car.
Yeah. So hopefully some people were figuring that out, but it won't take away from the surprise. But I'm like you, Anthony. I'm very anxious to do this because it's going to be a neat thing, and I hope people get here early so they can see it, the live reveal. So
So if you are on your way over here, make sure you're here by a little bit before 7 because we're going to do it right before 7 o'clock. We're going to do the reveal, and then we're going to let Anthony do a hot lap session, and then we're going to do our national anthem. So get here a little bit early so you can see this car reveal because it's going to be a pretty cool deal. So really quick before we get you off here, Anthony, we appreciate the support that you've given us throughout the years, and we know there's a racetrack probably closer to home that you could go to down there at I-35, and we appreciate you wanting to come up here and support us because I know it's not the closest drive, but like I said, you're the only guy left from Missouri, and that's crazy how close we are to Missouri.
Yeah. It's I know several years ago there used to be a handful more, and it's unfortunately, like you said, it's kind of the number's gone down, and now I'm kind of the lone guy at the moment. So
because the Steenses used to live down in the Maryville area, they always raced, and
all started with Carl Ritterbusch.
Carl Ritterbusch lived there north of Maryville, and I know we had Josh True. He used to race. He was from Missouri, and unfortunately, a lot of those northern Missouri racers they race a lot of USRA stuff because that's kind of what those tracks down there do. I mean,
we had Tarkio,
US 36, I-35. Those tracks all race USRA rules. So it's hard to pull those guys.
Larry Papa was down in that area. There's, it's just, there's used to be a lot. So,
but hopefully you can represent this wrap well and keep her up front and race with these guys.
I'm hoping for it. So it'd be pretty cool to be able to pull into victory lane and be able to celebrate that and have a kid celebrate it as well.
Yeah, it's cool. So
on top of that, you'll have your sponsors on that car, and we'll give you the opportunity now to kind of mention some of them. So.
Okay. So first off, just want to thank God for the opportunity to get out here and race on a weekly basis. And then want to thank Workman Farms, Davidson Land Management, Spoiled by Christie, Paxson's Welding and Tire Service, Don's Body Shop, Randall Bix with Rivian, Motorsports Warehouse, BHE, JP3 Transmissions, Bodies by TVO, Friesen Performance, Fast Shaft, Charger Chassis. And then just a special thanks to Adams County Speedway, the Junior Speedsters, Underdog Design, and like I said, VT's 3D Prints for being able to put all this together tonight and the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of people involved. It's been a drawn-out deal, but this last 5 days is a quick process.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, it's great to have Dre.
And thank you to every kid out there that
Yes,
submitted an entry. We appreciate your participation.
You all did great.
And it's fun looking through them because you can see the creativity and you can see the age difference in some of them.
Yeah.
The really young ones you can tell, and then the older kids put in a little bit more detail and stuff. So we appreciate the participation, and we look forward to doing this for years to come. So,
and once again, Anthony, thank you very much for being part of the ACS family. You guys have always helped us with the back to school, and we'll hopefully continue doing that as well.
We're gonna have an actual.
Right.
We're having an actual. It's on the schedule. It says back to school night because I'm a teacher, so I'm like, okay, we need to do one, like an actual one. So
kids are always looking forward to going back to school.
Oh yeah, right. All right, well, that's Anthony Fletchall, driver of the 29 car at Grant City, Missouri, and we're going to take another quick break and come back with you here on Pitside Live.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them, plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brake.
Welcome back to Pitside live here at Corning, Iowa. We are back-to-back this week racing, so it's good to have us back here racing. Glad to join us here on KCSI Radio, as well as our YouTube channel, KCSI YouTube, not Facebook.
Thank you to all our sponsors as well. Pitside Live is not possible without our sponsors. Subway, State Farm, Farm Bureau, S&S Appliance, Malvern Bank, Aiken Building Center, Shore Motor Company, Campbell Mechanical, Best Finish Auto Center, Russell Electric, Damewood Auto Sales, Brower Home Improvement, Heartland Foam Insulators. Thank you to all those sponsors for supporting Pitside Live and KCSI. We're going to move into a driver that won his first race last week in over a year. Josh Cooper, what up?
It's good to be back up here.
Well, last time you were up here talking, it wasn't for a win. It was just because we needed somebody to talk.
Yeah, we kind of filled in that day.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that one.
He was under the weather.
That was when we were upstairs.
It was a little nicer up there.
That was when
that was our inaugural podcast,
yes,
wasn't it?
that was when they had about a 2-hour margarita session before. But last week, man,
Chubbs is more talkative. That
you and Chubbs have been kind of on an island right now with chassis stuff and trying to figure out these skyrockets, and they're very finicky and hard to deal with, it seems like at times. And I know Chubbs has been super stressed out about it, and you guys have been kind of working together, and you got this new motor package in now, right?
Yeah, I was long overdue for one.
And because I know you were running that crate there for a long time, and how many nights did you have on that thing?
I was short one for making 100. I ended up with 99.
And
7 cylinders.
You just you just didn't know if you were going to make it through the year last year, and this new motor package came out through IMCA. And was it a hard decision, or was it kind of a no-brainer for you?
It made the most sense for Corning. I thought I needed one anyway, and it did, keeping the spoiler. So
tell people a little bit about what that is and where you got it, and kind of what the rules are with that, because people that don't know modified racing, the motor stuff has changed a little bit.
Yep. So it's all mid-state machines. He's got a lot of motors down here and stock cars and that. Technically anybody can put one together again and keep from getting claimed at least.
Right.
A little heavier, steel block. The gearing's a little different again, so the crates kind of eat us up on restarts. But
they do.
Once we get going, it's, once dry slick, it won't matter one bit.
Because the crates wind up quicker, and with these spec, it's technically a spec motor, right?
Yep.
I mean, it
is.
It's an open motor, but it's not an open motor at the same time. It's like a hybrid.
Yeah, there's only a few things you can. They're pretty specific what you can do. So.
Right. It's not a full-on open like USRA open, because with those you're just trying to make them as fast as you can. With these, there's still regulations on them and stuff. So you went from a 604 crate to a spec motor. What's one of the main differences you see? I'm guessing straightaway speed, probably a lot.
Yep. Yeah, the last half of the straightaway, you're cooking a little quicker.
Yeah.
But like I say, once it slicks off, you're going to be in the same boat. We still got a little tiny tire that can only take so much power anyway.
Right.
So
now
having a full motor helps.
Now last week, track was heavier, so you probably knew right away that, man, I got a good chance tonight because I know that I got the motor, and I know that everybody's going to be fast, obviously, but I might have a little bit extra get up with these guys, and that thing was a rocket.
It helps, and I just we started making some big changes on stuff too that helped.
You and Chubbs both have been changing a lot.
Yeah, he's changed every corner of the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all. I think we finally found something that works again. We feel like we've been behind the 8 ball for a year or two now. And
last year was kind of a struggle.
Yep.
And with this motor package, you're allowed to have a spoiler, right?
Yep.
Not very big one, but it's there.
So,
Yeah.
It's all the same spoilers now. So
yeah, I mean, but again, we talked to Jay-Z last week on the show about air and about aero and all that stuff, especially on a track like this where air is such a huge deal.
It's becoming more and more that way. You know, stick your hand out the door going 100 mile an hour. That's just a little imprint. But
right. I mean, and with the late model stuff you watch on TV, the bigger the racetrack, the more air dependent it is. And people that don't realize, if you're going into a corner and somebody slides you or takes off your air, it's called, it just upsets the car, and man, you just either you can push or it's crazy, isn't it, how much of a difference it is?
Yep.
And thus we have to talk deck height now.
Yeah.
Seems like, right.
That's
right.
a tricky one to measure on modifieds there.
Right, but it's that's a huge issue.
It is.
In the late models, they call it the droop rule.
Yeah.
But it's something where when you first started, I remember you started in the B mod class, and it was nothing like that. It was just
body didn't make much of a difference back then. It didn't seem like. Now it's it's a pretty big deal.
And so you and Chubbs have been very, very loyal to Skyrocket Chassis over the years, and you two play off each other a lot, park by each other, help each other out a lot. And what did Chubbs say to you? Was he just like, what did you do?
No, we were already
pretty similar.
Yeah, cars are pretty well twins.
Because he's running a spec too.
Yep.
And I don't know, for some reason, it's just Chubbs' car is so weird. It just doesn't like to turn. But
he got caught in a kind of little wrecks here and there last week, and he was further back. I was lucky. I got started up there.
Did you go back and watch the video at all?
Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you, because I thought you were sitting duck there for a while. I thought Zeitner was going to go get you, and then you just pulled away.
Yeah, when you see those numbers on the scoreboard behind you, you know you can't make one mistake. They're going to eat you alive.
So you are a guy that likes to run the top and sometimes likes to run a little too high.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about those last 5 laps when you know you're leading. Do you just go into like autopilot mode and just like super focus, or do you just get like really nervous?
Little both. I kind of zoned out, and I didn't mean to go high in 1 and 2 on one of them laps. I was just kind of muscle memory, and I'm like, oh boy, I haven't been up here. I don't know what this is like.
And you are one of those guys that nobody really considers you a throttle masher, but you really are the way you drive. I mean, you are a throttle masher. I mean, you are aggressive, and it's just how you drive, and you're comfortable on the top. I don't think I've ever seen you on the bottom much.
It's
usually when you do, you hit the tires.
Usually. Yeah, they're there.
Oh, yeah,
they're hard on
forgot
stuff.
about that.
Well,
to me last week was more like almost like a diamond off of 1 and 2, wasn't it? I mean,
I went low there. I went high up there. It was kind of
when the car was so good because you can run anywhere.
When the car feels comfortable like that, when you actually get the setup right, you feel like you can do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where when you can maneuver and you can run different lines, that's when you're really good, because I feel like, especially at Corning, you could probably say the same thing. When a guy does pass you, but your car's good enough to where you can move around and you can probably get back around them.
Mm-hmm. And it was a passy track, so
yeah,
it was
heavy.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like one lane dominant. You could run all over it, and I was very impressed with how the track was, because we were really worried about it, because we were just like, man, I don't know how we're going to race. It's going to be rough, and I mean, it had some character, but it turned out to be really good.
Yep.
And I know you like a little bit heavier racetracks sometimes, don't you?
Sometimes. A little more this year than last year. Before I liked them slick.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was really perfect track for all the work that had to go into everything, and people showed up early, and I was like, oh man, and I knew it'd be a lot of work. I said, well, you just wait, because I guarantee you'll be watering it before we're done. So.
Yeah, I told everyone Friday night, I'm like, just give it a few hours of daylight and working it. It'll be fine.
It's amazing what a whole day will do for you.
There was panic on the texts we were doing.
Oh God!
And I'm like, geez, let's just wait till 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, calm down.
I mean,
it'll be okay.
And I showed up to work on the concession. I said, I'm not saying a word, but in Logan or anybody, I had to let them do their things. Like, it is what it is. Whatever was decided is like, because I know it's hard for everybody. So
I got to ask you. So you have another kid now. Is racing kind of a necessity now, just to get you away from the kids for a while, or what?
Sometimes she's here too, so I think it's her excuse to get away from them.
For people that don't know, his wife is Alyssa. She's our head scorer. She works in the Coke Tower before the races, and yeah, I feel like if you guys didn't have racing, I don't know, you guys would probably be out at Jimmy's Pond or something. Probably chasing the kids around or something. I don't know.
It's funny because it was real quiet during your race. Seriously, I was up there.
Yeah,
I was up there just chuckling.
I always when Josh is leading, I usually peek over there in the tower, and Lisa's usually pacing, and then Alyssa's usually not watching because she's just like this the whole time.
So as soon as the checkered flag came out, I yelled, "What a crappy race!"
It kind of sucked though because we weren't doing interviews. Because you pulled into victory lane.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, I know.
Because we decided we were like, Logan's like, unless it's a first-time winner, we're not going to do interviews.
Close enough. It was close enough.
Mm-hmm.
It probably felt like a first-time winner because it's been so long.
It felt like a long time.
But you probably pulled into victory lane. You're like, this is where this thing is?
Yeah, I know.
Did I do something wrong? I got to back up. What's the deal? So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's got to feel good, too, because out of the box, Zeitner's been really fast, and he's so hard to beat. And, Wiggins has been so good over the last few years, and it's got to feel good to finally
I kind of
remind yourself that you don't suck.
I needed one to revive myself. I was starting to lose some hope.
Because as a race car driver, I feel like it's like, man, it's like, am I ever going to win another one of these things? And especially with these, I've been very happy with our modified count, and our modifieds down here are no slouches. I mean,
it's a very veteran class.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And it's hard. And I feel like you probably have you're probably just like, man, that's over with. Now I can just race again,
No.
Yeah, I know I can do it again.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, Iron Mike Johnson. 'Cause you younger guys don't even know that's what he was called back in the day. And people don't realize how much of a veteran he is because he's been racing a long time.
He's probably the oldest guy out there.
Yeah, in that class without a doubt. So, but I'm just saying I think he's got potential to stay right up there too, and I hope he's coming back because I think he has to motor last.
Yeah, I
too,
think so.
I believe so. But I mean, I think he's wanting to stick with us, so I hope he does come back. So I hope that happens. So
now. Coop, I got to ask you, are you going to keep doing the modified stuff, or do you ever want to try a stock car?
I don't know. The modified's just always where I wanted to be growing up. It's the class. Now, I haven't drove a stock. I guess I hot lapped Lance's one time. It was fun. I don't want to change gears. So until that's a quick change, that's a big no. I don't think Mike wants to change gears in it either. So
right. And unfortunately, IMCA. I mean, USRA you can, but
so keep working on that.
Yeah, I know. And it's just, I feel like I talk to Chubbs all the time about it, and I feel like Chubbs has more fun in the stock car than he does the modified anymore.
It sounds like it's more fun to drive, and it's just, I don't know. It'd be a tough choice.
It's I think you brought it up, but it's funny, when you watch on simulcast constantly. That's so many of them doing that now. Modified stock cars, back and forth. So there's so many drivers.
Well, technically, if you race an IMCA sanctioned racetrack, you can't race modified and sport mod,
right?
Or hobby and stock car. You have to race one or the other. So,
but it's just neat for guys that can do that. It is. So.
Well, Coop, before we get you out of here, it's really good to see you back in victory lane again. I was very happy for you and very impressed because I was just like, man, is he ever going to win one again? And it goes to show that when you have something under the hood that is good again.
Yeah, back to 100%.
Right, and Zeitner talked about it last week on the show, is unfortunately the way racing is nowadays, when you don't have the equipment set in stone and you don't have top-notch stuff, it makes it almost impossible to win, especially when you're racing against guys like we are down here. So thanks some people that get you here, and don't forget to thank your wife.
Yeah, that's first on the list. Gotta thank my wife for putting up with this every week and at home.
She's down here too. So
exactly.
There ain't no putting up with nothing. She's down here too.
It's a family affair. That's the way I look at it. So
yep.
Always has been.
So gotta thank my wife and kids, Mike, TJ, Ron, and then Iowa Recovery Services, OSR, Sleeps Trucking, Coon Chaos, Winsick Construction, Hy-Vee for keeping us fueled, Winsick Construction, Boyd Appliance Center, Tiger Den, Sheepdog Entertainment, Prescott Eagles Nest,
Sheepdog Entertainment,
Atkinson Construction, Zach's Mobile Locksmith, Real Hair Designs, and then my favorite, I'll be nice, won't get us canceled, Coop's Custom Brown Stuff this year.
Brown stuff.
Won't get us canceled.
Coop's Custom Poop, we'll call it. Coop's Custom Poop. Okay. So, see if you can make it back-to-back. Obviously, you're going to have to pass some cars tonight.
Yep.
Obviously, with the point average stuff. So, stock cars are redraw tonight, but you're not a stock car. So
no.
But you got some bigger races coming up here in the middle of the season. It's got to feel good that you got some confidence now that you can maybe get some of these bigger money shows.
It would be nice to start going out again. It didn't feel like it was worth it the last couple of years.
Right.
So it'd be nice too.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I always root for the guys when they travel around a little bit and see how you can compete against other guys. So, well, we wish you luck and go get them again tonight and see if you can 2 for 2.
Yep. Thanks.
Good luck.
All right, race fans, that's Josh Cooper, driver of 10J car out of Prescott. We're going to come right back with you here on Pitside Live.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camblin Mechanical or visit CamblinMechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S Appliance also offers delivery and installation. Stop by S&S Appliance on the square in downtown Clarinda.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
We want to make your vision a reality. Whether it's new windows, siding, awnings, or doors, we will deliver the best products.
Welcome back to Pitside Live here down County Speedway. Once again, we are racing tonight, folks, so make sure you get here early. We're going to have our big reveal right at 7 o'clock for our Kids Club design car, so we're looking forward to doing that. So make sure you get here early to be a part of that, to see that car revealed. we're pretty much right at that time, Evan, if you want to take
Yeah, we are at the top of the hour. We'll do a little station identification here. You're listening to KCSI 95.3 out of Red Oak, KOAK 1080 AM out of Villisca. We're also here on the YouTube channel on YouTube Live here for KCSI Radio's YouTube channel. So we're going to switch gears here. We just talked about some modified racing. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of compact racing here. And we are going to roll into our last week's feature winner and the highest compact paying race that we've had here in quite some time. And it was Brett Shepard. What's up?
Not a lot.
So let me tell you, your brother had some bad luck, and you did not.
That's right. Yeah, he was unfortunate and blew up. So.
He sent me a picture of his motor when he was done, and I'm like, oh boy. And it was a fireball. Were you behind him or in front of him at that time? You were in front of him, right? So you didn't see it.
No.
So, Brett, when I first watched you race, you were in a sport mod, correct?
Correct.
And it was kind of just like, hit or miss. You know, you had a hard time figuring it out, and you quit there for a while, and now you're in this compact stuff. Is that because of your brother?
Yeah. Basically.
Pretty much.
Yep.
He got you roped into it.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
It's not bad. It's a lot different than driving the B-Mod for sure.
Now, you're going from, you've always been one that's raced a rear-wheel drive car, and now you're in a front-wheel drive car, and when you first started racing this thing, were you just like, man, these things are stupid?
Yeah, I think the first night I ran Dusty's car, he was gone one weekend, and I thought I did pretty good, drove it up to second, I think, and then I threw it in the corner too hard and looped it, and that was that.
Looping it in a front-wheel drive car, that means you threw it in really hard.
Yeah, I was trying to drive like a B-Mod.
But last week was a really good race for you. I know Dusty's been helping out Tyler Hoover a lot too, and you guys kind of got a friendship going there. But your guys' cars are really fast. You got a good crew up here that comes and supports you guys, and it was a really good race last week. I'm sure you probably went back and watched the video somewhere.
Yeah.
But Tyler was right on your tail.
Yep.
Did you feel him?
Oh, yeah. And Keegan was a couple times, and
yeah.
The lap car kind of messed him up there. I wish that wouldn't have happened, but...
yeah, his toe kind of got out a little bit, and he just lost a lot of speed. So,
yeah.
But you had to hit your marks, and it was really impressive. I was impressed.
Yeah. No, the top side was there. You had to keep the momentum up, I felt, and if I stayed up there, I felt like no one was going to pull me off the bottom. Tyler was there a couple times, and I think one more lap he probably would have got me.
I don't know.
It would have been hard.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because, okay, it's going to be in.
He would have had to rough you up a little bit, I think.
You were going to hold off no matter what.
And Tyler doesn't race like that.
So. No, he did a good job and raced pretty clean. The Shyrock and the Browner thing last night, he could have done that to me, I guess. But
yeah. Yeah.
Give you a little bit of left for a door.
No comment on that one. Like, well, anyway, but yeah, that was just racing as far as I'm concerned. But anyway,
So you and your brother kind of do this thing together. Do you help him on in the cars, or is he just kind of the one that just does it?
I try to.
I know
he's much about these things.
Yeah, I know he's the whiz when it comes to street cars. It seems like he knows his stuff.
Yeah. No, the first thing we built this car, it was going to be his new car, and then he threw me in it, and I've been in it since. So I've tried to get him to come race it today, and he didn't want to. So
I'll be darned.
Huh?
So do you have any other chassis sitting around?
I got the bigger staff B-Mod sitting in the garage.
Oh, okay.
So
it's just expensive, huh?
Yeah. Need a motor.
Different. Yeah, it's a different animal, isn't it? So.
Well, you're going from a little paycheck to you got to open up your checkbook for those.
Yeah.
Exactly right. But that's the thing. I went to Stewart last night and actually got to watch some racing. And the compacts, they had a pretty good field up there. And I'm sitting there and it's like, gosh, there's just so much difference in motor sounds in those cars. It amazes me how that is. So
with compact racing, I feel like track size is huge, and with those small racetracks, you're not even going fast.
No.
It's just all turning, and it's just like I'm just looking at myself like I'm up in Stewart last night. I'm just like, how is this fun? Like, and it's like down here, you actually get up to speed. And you feel like you're actually pushing the car to the limits, and it's just like I don't know. I just feel like if I was a front wheel drive driver, I would much rather race at a track like this where you can actually get up to speed.
Yep, and this is the first track I raced. Like I said, 2012 was when I won a feature, maybe two, and I won Canaan Hill that year in the B-Mod.
Yep.
But it's always been a fast, fun track and smooth, and it's just fun to come down here.
That was always my general question when we started compacts for 4 years probably. That was my question I always ask new guys is like, why do you like racing our track? And pretty much everybody says the same thing. It's because I like to go fast. So, and that's why I laugh now. That like, that's the Ricky Bobby answer. I like to go fast. And now you got all these guys.
You see it. You see it in a 4-cylinder way more than you see it in like a B mod, because in a B mod you can just run a bigger gear and you can get up to speed quicker. With these compacts, you run a small racetrack, and I mean you're not going fast at all.
No.
I mean, and it's more of like just technical turns in the corners, and there's no straightaway speed at all. So I feel like with these compacts, if you want to test the limits and you actually want to go fast, you got to race a bigger racetrack. And I'll tell you, the one racetrack that put on really good compact racing was I-80.
Oh, yeah.
I-80, I mean, that was fast for compacts, and that was fun to watch up there, compacts, because they were hauling the mail.
Oh, yeah.
So, and down here, you guys are going fast, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I even liked the Crown Vics last week. I thought that was fun to watch.
So. I mean, that's what I talked about.
They went way faster than I thought they were going to.
Well, that's the thing for an inaugural race. I thought it was a home run. I think give some people some thoughts there, like, hey, this isn't so bad. So, and I hope that not my hope, but we're demanding that we're going to make that class always affordable and about having fun. So,
and I feel like that'll help you in the other classes too.
Exactly.
The rear-wheel drive car is a lot better than the front-wheel drive if you want to proceed up. I guess
it races more like a bigger race car. Right. So. And I was very impressed with our Crown Vic guys. Unfortunately, we had one roll, but they raced really well, and they were running all over the place. And I've asked a few compact guys. I wonder how interested they are, and I wonder if Dusty will want to try one. I wonder maybe someday.
Yeah, I don't know. He likes the compact.
I know he does, but I know that he would be one that I could see that would just try one, and because I know he could build it.
Yeah.
He can build anything.
Yep.
So, so were you the one that got Dusty into racing?
I was one of the first ones started racing in our family after my dad and stuff. But yeah, I think he just tagged along with it.
Gotcha. But you couldn't get him to come over here tonight with you.
No, he was pretty depressed after working all week and getting a motor in and having problems with it.
Just couldn't do it. So, well. Hopefully we got another decent compact count here tonight, but 350, that was kind of cool. I mean, compacts don't cost a whole heck of a lot, but 350, that's kind of nice. Something a little extra.
Oh,
yeah. So it's neat. So you're definitely one of the guys to beat down here for sure now, and I feel like you're one of the guys that with these compacts. I mean, you got it figured out. You really do.
I still ask Dusty all the time, like, okay, let's do it. I don't know. It's just, it's tough.
So you don't think you'd be able to do it without your brother?
Probably not.
I figured.
I wouldn't be able to work on these things.
Dusty's the brains behind it. Mm-hmm. You're just the bronze, right?
Yeah.
So, change the subject. I mean, the shirt you're wearing tonight kind of brings me up to another subject, but you're over in Jesse's territory, but I'm assuming you know Jesse too.
Yep.
So
just
a big heartfelt thing, to mention tonight, everybody, that some horrible news last night from him, and what they talked about SMR2, that he lost his dad, and I think his stepbrother too. So it's just horrible. So
he was
known Jesse a long time,
right? 7 years old.
Known Jesse a long time. He's been a race driver here, and helped us out many years. And our hearts go out to him, and just hate to hear that. So, and I got to talk to him last night, and obviously he's racing for a reason. It's we're all family, and it helps keep your mind in the, so that was the deal.
With the thing that Wiggins went through last year too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just so not to be a Debbie Downer, but I just happened to see the shirt, helped remind me.
We're saying that too because these guys are from Malvern. That's where Jesse's from. So
just to say it out, shout out to Jesse and his family.
Yeah, wish him some luck tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you got quite a crew that always sits up here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is that your family, or is that just friends, or
it's
what?
Family, friends, mixture. Yeah. We got a lot of people in our family, nieces, nephews.
Yeah, they always come. They're always loud, and they're always they do a good job of cheering you guys on. I know when Destry was racing there for a while, and they always. And then Abby was racing there for a little bit. Where's Destry at? Is he done or what?
He bought a bike. He's cruising on that somewhere.
I guess you can still go fast in that, but there's no. He shouldn't be racing in that though, because he might get himself in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he definitely likes the speed. So
trouble with those things, you're going fast and you don't feel like you're going fast. That's what I always feel.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going 85. Jeez, just don't even feel like I'm moving. So yeah, that's the trouble with me on one of them things. So whatever. So.
Well, Brett, you're gonna have to pass some cars tonight. You're gonna have to start probably a little bit deeper. When you get out there, and tell me a little bit about these starts in these compacts, because
I'm bad at them. I'll tell you that right now.
Because since we moved the start cone up, we've heard a lot of good things. I feel like one thing it does is it eliminates the high speed going into the first corner, and then guys making wrong decisions, and then you're already at a high enough speed to where you can, roll or whatever. I feel like the cone was a good idea. But are you racing a manual?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how that is, jumping through the gears. And I feel like guys miss shifts all the time.
I think it's just trying to get the high RPM. Everybody's trying to get that stretch out there, and you throw it in gear. And there's pros and cons to both of it, I guess. But I've taken two.
I have a question on it, and I've heard a little bit in the last couple of weeks, is missing gears. I think a couple of guys have hurt motors over the situation because it's just a slow start. I mean, can you see that? I mean, or do you see that? That's the thing. Is like, to me, the cone's a good deal as far as the seems to keep them straighter.
The safety going into
but
one.
But to me,
it's
like almost. I feel like we need to be up to speed a little bit more before we get to the cone. They're not going,
more like a gradual than like we don't want to be like F1 where we're like creeping, and then bam.
Yeah.
So,
I think it should be a steady speed.
Yeah.
Because Logan was talking about it a little bit, and we had some people commenting and saying that the way we're starting here is hurting motors and things like that. I just wanted to get your perspective on what it's like going through the gears, and if it did hurt things, or
like I just panic, I guess, is my problem. But I was fortunate to have Tyler Hoover behind me and give me a pretty good push last week. So
because I know Jeremy had some issues last week with his transmission, and how easy is it to miss a gear?
It's easy.
I mean, and unfortunately, when you do miss a gear and you're up front, it's just like...
And it's hard to get back in there. And
you're a sitting duck.
Yeah.
And
you're concentrating on enough stuff without worrying about,
because everybody's making comments to me about, like, why is that car not going? I'm like, do you not realize that it's not like a race car where they got high and low? They're trying to get through the gearbox. I mean...
Yeah. Dusty always tells me, just shift it easy, like you're going down the highway. Don't.
Yeah.
But I never put that in my head,
Well, your adrenaline's going and things like that. So, do you? And this is probably more of a Dusty question, but do you think there's a huge advantage in a compact that running a manual over an automatic?
I believe so. I don't know. I guess I haven't been in an automatic, but I feel like if you got an automatic going on this at good speed on top side, you'd probably keep it up. I don't know.
Well, because I always think about the initial starts. Having a manual on the initial starts is a huge advantage.
Of course, yeah.
Because you can control when the car shifts.
Yep.
Obviously, with an automatic, you're at the mercy of whenever it wants to shift.
Right.
So, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about missing a shift in an automatic. So that's kind of the...
Fraser had one last year. I don't know if they still got the car, I know, but he done pretty good with it, I thought, for an automatic.
Because I feel like if we went to a more gradual start, like you're talking about, I feel like the automatics could maybe keep up a little bit more because you'd already be a little bit up more to speed. I feel like with your manuals, the way we're starting right now, huge advantage. Huge advantage.
It's just something we have to keep an eye on. That's what I think. So see if there is
but
an issue or not.
I think I would agree, and coming from you, a driver as well, I do think that we need to work on maybe getting up to speed. Maybe like once you get to the green tire, maybe speed up a little bit to pick up the pace, and then go when you get to the cone. I think that would help.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but again, Logan did that for safety purposes because we were having a lot of issues with a lot of the inexperienced guys they were trying to make it 3-4 wide on the front stretch, and then you'd be 4 wide going into corner number 1, and then nobody has anywhere to go, and then you're already up to full speed, and here comes a massive melee. And I feel like these new starts have eliminated that.
They have.
Yeah, and made it a little bit more clean. So that's good. So I just want to get your opinion on that. So, well, Brett, before we get you out of here, is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out here on
sponsors
on TV or on the radio? So
yeah, my brother, I guess he owns the car, lets me drive it every weekend, so without him I wouldn't be here. My boss, Jeff Siebenecker, Rex's Plumbing, Steve Haley, Haley Electric, and then Clean Z Cleaners, Logan and Tyra.
So, yeah, make sure you hit up Dusty over there at
know all those guys.
Kia and Genesis. He's a tech up there, so make sure you go hit him up there. He's really good at working on. Hey, and if you ever need somebody to help you work on your car, he knows what he's
Dusty,
doing.
yeah, he does. I mean, does a lot of work for Tyler.
Yeah.
He's figured out the transmissions, been rebuilding those too. So
good.
If anybody has any problems, I guess
he's really good at that stuff. So, well, Brett, wish you luck tonight, and you're gonna have to pass some cars. So
yeah, go out there and back it up.
Okay.
All right.
Luck.
That was Brett Shepard, driver of the 98 car, had a Malvern. We're going to wish him luck tonight in the compacts. We are going to...
We'll do one more.
One more commercial break here before our last segment of the show here. We're going to come right back with you. We'll see you in just a few minutes here on Pitside Live.
Yep, I got to sign back in.
Oh, we're going to sign back in.
I did see a thing that said lost connection. I wasn't sure if it was
really
right
quick,
or not,
this last segment of the show, before we go back to break here, we are going to do some results from last week. We are forgetting to do those.
Yep.
So we need to open those up and talk about some results here. So
just bear with me, folks. I got to do this again because I don't know what happened, but I lost connection for our commercial break. I'm going to get that.
But like I was saying with the compacts and things like that, I feel like our compact races have been really, really good this year so far.
Yep.
One thing I had an issue with towards the end of the year last year was we were having a lot of issues with rough driving and guys kind of running over people
and aggressiveness.
Yeah, and we were having a lot of drama in the pits, and I feel like this year we haven't seen that, and cross our fingers that we don't. So when we get back here after our next commercial break, we're going to go over some results from last Saturday night. So we'll be right back with you.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here down County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. We're heading down to the checkered flag here. We're going to start off our last segment here with some results from last week.
Yeah, so first class we're going to talk about here is our floating vine compacts. We ran 350 to win last week. We're going to go over our top 5 finishers and our A feature from last week. 5th place, welcome back to the Speedway after a nasty rollover about a year ago now. Gravity Iowa's Andrew Akers back in the 8 car. Running for Jeremy Frazier, so good to have him back in that 5th place position. 4th place was Andrew Mills in the 47 car out of Kent, Iowa. 3rd place was Corning, Iowa's Keegan Russell in the 751 car. 2nd place was a former track champion here at the Speedway, Villisca, Iowa's Tyler Hoover in the 27. And your winner was our last guest on the show out of Emerson, the 98 of Brett Shepard in your compacts. So it was a good compact feature. It was nice and clean, and there was some moving and shaking. So compacts are putting on a good show so far this year here at the Speedway. So we're going to move on to some hobby stocks.
Yep, your Hewlett & Sons Auto Salvage out of Creston, Iowa. Hobby Stocks. Great to have Chuck and family on board for our Hobby Stocks now. Longtime race family is part of us here now. And fifth place was Tyler Hoover out of Clarinda in the 12G. Anthony Fletchall, our special guest tonight, and our reveal out there on the track here in a few minutes. The 29 car out of Grant City, Anthony Fletchall finished fourth, followed by Bennett Johnson. Bennett had a good run with Anthony Davis, who finished second, and Adam Hensel, your winner in the Flying Banana. But what a race that was, and we talked a little bit about it before. But Anthony led that darn thing pretty much the whole time, and Bennett and him were going for it, and gave gave Adam a shot to go down low, and he ended up picking both of them off at the flag stand. So
yeah,
we were close.
We were 3 wide down the front stretch during the finish of that thing, and it was one of the best finishes we've had here in a long time. So very happy with our Hobby Stocks. They put on a show every week. So moving on to our stock cars, Northland Oil stock cars. Thanks to Northland Oil for sponsoring that. Fifth place, welcome back to the Speedway out of Ottoman, was the 77M of Jeff Nielsen. Fourth place was the 37D of Brad Derry. Third was the double nickel, the Scuba Steve Churchill machine out of Creston, Iowa. Actually out of Clarinda now, I do believe. Second place, very, very impressed with this driver. Second place, Glenwood, Iowa's Derek Myers in the 5 car. I want to have him on the show here in the next couple weeks because I want to talk about him because very, very impressed with him. First full year in a stock car this year, and he was pretty much the only one that could keep up with Chubbs there for a while. So, but your winner out of Corning, Iowa, your defending track champion in the stock car is the 70 of Jesse Dennis. So Derek and Jesse were side by side there for several laps towards the beginning of the race, and then once Chubbs passed him, he got out in clean air and set sail. So Jesse Dennis is definitely the car to beat. 1,000 to win stock cars tonight here at the Speedway Race Fans. So I know we're going to have some unfamiliar faces here at the Speedway tonight. I know Buck Shafroth and Todd Van Eaton are back here going to race with us tonight. So hopefully we have a couple more that show up. So
Dennis Elliott, I believe, is coming. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So all right, now we're going to move on to some RJ's Plumbing and Heating B Modifieds.
RJ Plumbing and Heating right here in Corning, Iowa. I want to give a big mention right away to them that they want us to keep letting our fans know and everyone now that they do financing now. So, sometimes your plumbing and heating needs can be real expensive. And you say to yourself, how do I do this? Well, they have financing available now, and they want to make sure everybody understands that. So they understand your needs and want to be able to work with you, and they're able to do that now with new financing options that they have. We want to make sure that we always mention that. But your fifth-place finisher in your RJ Heating and Plumbing B-Mods, fifth place was Evan Davis from right here in Corning, followed by the Zero of Sean Kralik out of Creston. Austin Hardesty with another good run, the 11. We keep saying it, but Austin's going to pick one of these things off here before long. Kyle Tanner showed up and joined us here out of Blair, Nebraska, formerly from just up north of here in Corning. Kyle finished second, but picking off, I think, his first regular season win, isn't he's had? Nope. I know he won the tradition, but I don't know if he'd won a regular.
He had one last year.
Okay.
He had a couple last year.
But Hunter Poston out of Vluska had a great run and finishing on top last week.
Hunter Poston's definitely the guy to beat right now in the class. They fixed some things, I guess, that was wrong with the car, and he's got that open motor singing right now. So Hunter Poston is definitely the car to beat. And our B-Mod class, we got a lot of good drivers. So got some youth, but got a lot of good drivers. So, all right, moving on to our Premier Division, Poet Biorefining Modifieds. Top 5 from last week results. Fifth place was Chubbs, Jesse Dennis. Fourth was the 36T, the Candyman, Jeff Wiggins out of Greenfield. Third place was Stanton, Iowa's 71 of Jeff James. Second in the Brand X race car out of Malvern, the 62Z of Jay-Z, Justin Zeitner. And your winner, earlier on the show, first win in over a year, Josh Cooper in the 10J out of Prescott. So got a new motor and very, very happy with what he's got. And he's very impressed with what he's got under the hood, so gave him a lot of confidence. So, so Josh Cooper picking up that win. So, and last but not least, our finish in our Crown Vic feature, our Poland
Construction out of Clarinda. Great to have Poland Construction with helping us out here for this brand new class, the Crown Vics. It was so awesome to get that inaugural race in, and I thought it was very successful with 6 cars. Like I tell people, we started with 4 hobby stocks when we started that class. So, and it was up to 50 at one time. But I think the potential is there. I know it's there, and I think that class is going to explode. people figure out that it is good racing, because it was, and it's a very inexpensive way to get started. So, but your 6th place car was Keegan Smith, who had the tough luck earlier. Reese Oglesby, who led the doggone thing for quite a while until his rear end went out, finishing 5th out of Messina. Also, Reese is part of a longtime racing family, the Oglesby family. Hunter Camden out of Gravity finishing 4th. I think it's Matt Stinn.
Yep.
Matt Stinn out of Atlantic. Good to have him down here racing. Raced real well. Followed by Justin Bissell right here in Corning.
The principal's husband.
Okay. And then your winner right here in Corning, Iowa, Tate Hafner. Good to see Tate get a first win in any class. But like I said, he's the inaugural winner of the Pullen Construction Vet Crown Vics, and that's something that can never be taken away from you, because that's the way it is. I think back to the hobby stocks. Who is the man? I don't know if you remember, but it was Rick Pitzer. Rick Pitzer, and it was Ray Knight, Rick Pitzer, Van Osdale, and
Tom Myers.
I can't remember if it was Tom or not, but that's.
I believe Tom Myers was one of the original ones.
That was the inaugural 4, and that stuff I always remember, and you can't take away. Just like I'll probably remember those 6 guys forever too. So, but that was your inaugural class from the Pullen Construction Crown Vics. Very glad to get that started. We'll have them on for 8 more times plus the tradition, so always looking forward to that. Like we said, it's in its infancy. I chuckled a little bit talking to Jeff James and this chatter you see online with all the old veterans talking about it. Maybe someday, I'll get it out there right now, but maybe someday we can do something nostalgic type class with it. Like maybe we build a couple of our own or something, or put some retro wraps on it. And when you have those old veterans talking about, I'd love to get back and do something like that. Looks like a lot of fun. Why not we think about something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff James thought that would be an absolutely incredible idea. Get some of those names that's been out there chattering, like, Jeremy Houck, Tim Taylor. Who wouldn't want to see some of those old names, just get in the car and go out and have fun?
Yep.
I just think it would be so neat, and if we could just somehow make a quick wrap or something, cheap thing, somehow like that, I think it'd be awesome. So.
You fishing or what?
Tell you what, it's getting close.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes.
Our track director here is here, and he's ready to go.
Our promoter's got a real life fishing T-shirt. He looks like he just got out of the.
He's ready to go.
Off the water.
Followed up here by an old crafty Hall of Fame veteran there, Ron Gay. I bet we could probably get him in a Crown Vic one of these days too. I know he chomping the bit last year about talking about getting back.
Before we get off here, thanks again to all of our sponsors: Subway, Red Oak, Shenandoah, Glenwood, and Clarinda. State Farm Insurance, Dave Carbaugh. Farm Bureau Financial Services, Jake Gillespie. SNS Appliance, Malvern Bank, Malvern, Iowa, Jay Burdick. Aiken Building Center, right here in Corning, Atlantic, Creston, and Clarinda. Shore Motor Company out of Clarinda, Iowa. Canlin Mechanical, Best Finish Auto Center in Glenwood, Iowa. Russell Electric, Dame One Auto Sales right here in Corning. Brower Home Improvement, and Heartland Foam Insulators. Big thanks to all of our Pitside Live sponsors. We could not do it without you. And if you know anybody who works at those places or the owner of those businesses, please give them a thank you for what they do for the Country Sunshine listening area. And last but not least, thank you to KCSI 95.3, the West family, and the Deeds family for letting us do this, letting us promote our racetrack online and live on the radio. And we really appreciate the support. So.
Yeah, we feel very honored to be able to be a part of their family. And I'll tell you what, folks, what's coming up here real quick next week, May 17th, besides getting started with our TV, getting on Dirt Crown TV going, but next week will be a big night. It's 1,000 to win B-Mods, which is also
Dirt Crown race.
Dirt Crown race. So we'll have Dirt Crown TV here with Dirt Crown race.
Yeah, so we are going to be one of the first races on the Dirt Crown Sport Mod Summer Series. So it is 1,000 to win Sport Mods next week, and we're hoping to pull some of those guys from Nebraska over here to race with us. So.
Sponsored also by Tri-State.
We got 24 B mods tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tri-State Ford and Budweiser will be a big sponsors next week as well. Can't say enough without them. We're going to be doing Veterans Night next week, so in honor of Memorial Weekend coming up. So next week we'll be doing a Veterans. Excuse me, that's the 24th. I'm way ahead of myself here. The 17th is not 17th. So next week is the 17th. I'm already ahead a week. The 24th is the Sport Mod race. So
okay, so next week is not 1,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I swore I pushed the 17th and it came up the 24th. But next week is just a regular racing, other than we're starting Dirt Crown TV. So and then the 24th in 2 weeks, Memorial Weekend, that will be the 1,000 to win B Mods Dirt Crown TV. And then the following week will be our PCSB Kids Money Grab. So kids and candy both. We'll have it both out there. Looking forward to that night. And one reminder is Hall of Fame was scheduled for next week. That is going to be pushed back to June 7th because there's just no way we can get everything organized, contact the families. The ballots aren't even due until next week to come in. So Hall of Fame, once again, has been pushed back to June 7th along with Aiken Building Center night. So that's the key changes and key things that are coming up. But I tell you what, Evan, I can hear the cars warming up, getting ready to do a little hot lapping out there. We're looking forward to it. But like I said, folks, if you're listening to us, we hope you are. Make sure you get here. We have plenty of refreshments. The concession, we're the cheapest restaurant in town, the cheapest restaurant in Iowa. So make sure you head on out here and feed your family, enjoy some great entertainment. We're ready to have you racing, and make sure you get here by 7 o'clock so we can be a part of the reveal of our kids' wrap tonight. So looking forward to that right at 7 o'clock. So come on out here and join everybody. And Evan, you got anything to add?
That's it. Let's go racing.
Yeah. The old clock on the wall says 6:30, so join us next week here on Pitside Live from Adams County Speedway.